Welcome to another episode of the Dragon Yawn. I'm your host, Sifu Mike, and I'm coming to you from the mats of our sponsors at Tactical Kung Fu and Mixed Martial Arts, located in Durham, North Carolina. And coming to you, it's a kind of an interesting Dragon Yawn this episode because normally I film these things on the weekend, right? But this last weekend we had a snowstorm, like a lot of snow. Several inches of snow. In fact, there's like a 3 or 4 inch block of snow still on my car on the very top, and I'm just kind of like worried that it might slide off in the middle of traffic. I'm okay if it like slides off in the parking lot. I just don't want it to go in the middle of traffic. But that's me. Just this, like I said, I drive a Jeep, so I can't actually reach the top because I'm short. Um, but yeah, so we had snow over the weekend and couldn't get this done, so I'm doing it during the week, which means that there is a high probability that I might get interrupted. And what I mean by interrupted, I mean somebody might come through my door and I gotta stop and talk to them, or the school's phone might ring and I might have to stop and talk to those guys. So all that exists during the week, right? But I'm going to try and get this thing out of the way because I want to talk to you guys. It's been a while. It's been a minute. And so I have a very interesting topic. I think it's interesting. Okay, it's a very easy topic for me to talk about, and it's one of my favorite topics. It's all me, right? Specifically, my gi. All right, the clothes that I wear. All right, so we're getting into fashion, getting into style in the martial arts realm. Okay, talking about the martial arts gi. For the most part, you can think of the gi as being martial art pajamas, right? The gi pants universally are pocketless, they're baggy, they're like have a whole lot of room to breathe and stuff like that. So they're literally just like pajamas. They're very comfortable. I've got I don't know how many pairs. I wear them all the time, and it's good. Gi pants. The uniform at Tactical Kung Fu is traditionally the gi pants, right, the black stuff, and then a t-shirt, this guy. For most people, it's red. For me, I like the light blue, right? And really, in the Durham Chapel Hill area, to find the color red is extremely hard anyway. So it's like you gotta know your audience, man. You gotta play to what they like, and so red is not really color. But in Chinese people in China, they love the color red. Color red is a very positive thing, so that's why we have it, because we're kung fu based, right? Anyway, so going back to the gi, right? Again, martial arts fashion. The you can think if the gi pants are your pajamas, then the gi top would be like your blanket. And the gi tops range from different like thread counts. They kind of is in ounces. Like so, they can be as thin as 5 or as large as 14 or even more. I typically will sell gis through Century Martial Arts because they have such a wide variety of gis, and a lot of times the gi is associated with the martial art in that there are certain things you can do with a gi that you can't do without a gi. Now, martial arts that don't really require the gi as part of their techniques, then they will typically use the kind of the lightweight gis because nobody really is pulling on them or anything like that. They won't tear as much, and so those you can see lightweight gis are pretty much for like certain types of karate and taekwondo, tang soo do, and a lot of the martial arts that don't use grappling for the most part. That also being said, some gis have different lengths as far as their sleeves are concerned. Some are short sleeve, some are no sleeve, right? Some are all the way down to your knuckles, and that also depends on the martial art and what it's being used for. In fact, there are some jiu-jitsu tournaments that don't allow gis of a certain length of their sleeves, right? If they don't come up to the hand or the knuckles, they're not going to let you use that gi. You're going to have to use something else because the less sleeve you have, the less control over a person's arm you can have, and so it can be a big factor. You can kind of think that if you have, say I have 60 techniques, right? Just throwing that number out there, 60 techniques, and I got two ways of doing them, right? Left and right. So 60 techniques, two ways, I got 120 really. So with the gi though, the gi you can think of that as like a technique multiplier, right? There's a whole lot more things I can do. If I have a gi, I can do those same things, but more ways. And so a gi can kind of like be like, okay, I've got 10 different ways of doing those 60 things. So now I got 600 techniques. It's really all the same stuff. You just multiple ways of doing the same thing, and the gi allows you to do more. And so I think a lot of places they say having a gi makes things more technical, and that is very true. There's a whole lot more you can do if you're using the fabric and stuff like that. That being said, the grappling gis, stuff you would see in jiu-jitsu and Brazilian jiu-jitsu and judo, they're typically a whole lot more heavier, right? And they have a much wider collar because people are grabbing the collar and are choking with the collar, and it's a whole lot of different stuff. So, gi is pretty sure it comes from Japanese, from their kimonos that kind of passed down. It comes from the word kenko gi, I think. I might totally be mispronouncing that. It's Japanese. It's Keiko gi, right? Kenko. Kenko means practice, whereas gi means clothes, right? So literally, it's practice clothes, and so that's kind of where it comes from. You will see gi as a traditional martial arts uniform in almost every single martial art. Even Cobra Kai has one, right? They have the sleeveless gi. I think that's where, honestly, I think that's where the sleeveless gis came from, is from the first Karate Kid movie. So, talking about gis, I want to talk specifically about my gi. All right, I've actually got two of them. I've got a couple of mixed martial art, do martial arts all the time. I got several of everything, man. I've got like 15 of these t-shirts. I don't know how many rash guards. I don't know how many gi pants, but I got 2 gi tops. All right. You can get a lot of use out of those things. They're pretty sturdy. If you get the thick ones, I have the thick ones. I have the 14-ounce gi tops. Like I said, fighting in a blanket. All right, they can get pretty warm after a while. And so I got my gi here. I'm going to be talking about my gi because it's very unique, right? It's totally me. It's all about me. And like I said, this very easy episode for me to talk about, all talking about me and my gi. And it rhymes. Oh my gosh. So, doing good. So far, nobody's interrupted me. All right. So, gis. All right. So, this is my gi. Okay. If you notice, I got a lot of different patches on it, and that's what I want to talk about, because back in the day when I first got my gi, like I said, we go through Century Martial Arts and we kind of picked one particular gi for everybody to use. Well, I was looking around one day, I was like, well, everybody has the same color gi. It's like, how do we really tell our gis apart? Because some people are my size, and I wanted to make my gi unique, and so that nobody else would like mistake it and accidentally take it, and I end up with some like sweaty, smelly dude's gi, and I'm like, no. So I wanted to have my gi, and I know in my weapons class with the sticks, have people take a Sharpie to the end of their sticks, and they put their initials or a stick figure or a smiley face, something that they can recognize, oh, this is my stick and not somebody else's. So I wanted to do that with my gi. Now, I didn't know how to do that until, and it just so happened that a high-ranking martial artist came to visit our school, and with him he brought patches, okay, and specifically one-hop kendo patches. And I've been a member of the One-Hop Kendo International Association since about 2010, all right, and so I saw these patches, I was like, awesome, right? So the first one I'm going to talk about is this guy. I'm gonna put it right there. Try to see on the screen. Just like not doing this right. So yeah, there's my patch. Okay, And so this is the One Hop Kendo International Association, the One Hop Kendo Dia kind of thing. And that's how this whole thing started. I was like, I'm going to get this patch and I'm going to put it on my arm. And I was like, this is awesome, right? And that really just started this snowball, this avalanche. And I was like, dude, I can put more patches on my knee. Because I had all these patches, I didn't know what to do with them. So I'm going to be going through and talking about all the different patches on my gi, because I got like 7 of them. I really did get carried away and found out later that also in some jiu-jitsu tournaments they don't allow you to use gis that have a whole lot of patches on them. So I was like, okay, so now this is just my picture gi. If I want to take a really nice photo, I'll wear this one. I'll occasionally wear it in class, and my other gi is more my workhorse gi. So like I said, got 2 of them. But anyway, so going through the patches, we'll start in the back. All right, so this guy, all right, if I can show it for the camera to see, it's really hard because the gi is black. But Boondock Saints, all right, is just a movie. It's one of my favorite movies. It's about a bunch of Irish guys going around South Boston killing people, killing bad guys, specifically bad guys. It's almost like a comic book movie, but it wasn't actually based on a comic book. The comic book version of it came later. But it's a very good movie. It's very quotable. It wasn't really popular in the theaters, but once it went in home video, it became like a cult classic, and everyone loves it. I watch it every St. Patty's Day. It's like my Irish film, for the most part. I can quote like every line in there. I often choose not to because half that movie is rated R and very much like they use the F-bomb like all the time. Still funny, still entertaining. It's a good watch, but definitely not a kids film. Okay, it earned that rated R film, rated R rating, I guess. So, but it's Irish movie. Okay, so that's on the back of my gi. If I turn around to the front, I'm gonna go with this guy. All right. All right. See that patch? Okay. So, P.O.D. is a band. All right. It's one of my favorite bands and has been for a very long time. I've been following these guys since like the 90s. I'm not really sure when. I just know I have been. All right, I've seen them more times at concerts than I can possibly think of. I've got all their albums. I've got even their singles and stuff like that. They're one of my favorite bands. It's a P.O.D. is an acronym. It stands for Payable on Death, and it sorry, they're kind of a mixture of nu metal and alternative rock and reggae and rap metal. It's just a hodgepodge mixture of a lot of things, and I feel like that's very representative of, or representative, using the wrong word, or not pronouncing it right. Dude, I can't even pronounce English, alright? I'm trying to say like Japanese words and stuff like that. It doesn't really happen. That's why. But anyways, they're a band of a mix of a lot of different cultures and music, and it's really cool because you think about like America is a mixture of cultures, right? And so this band is a perfect representation of that. And the martial art that I do here is a mixed martial art. I've got opponents done from everywhere, right? And this band accurately represents the fact that here's a whole bunch of things that you typically would think don't go together, but they do, and it worked. It's beautiful. I love it, and been loving it for decades, man. Been following this band. It's one of those bands that I buy their CD without ever hearing it. I'm just like, oh, sold, got it, you know. In fact, they recently came out with a CD last November, or last month, sorry. It's called Circle, so definitely check that out because it's probably going to be good. I'm still waiting for mine to come in the mail, come through Amazon, and but yeah, definitely very good band, and they've been making CDs. I think that got like 8 of them or something like that. Been making albums for a long time. Really good band, really good band. Now this particular patch though, from the design, actually is very reminiscent or came about around the time of the late 90s is when you started seeing that particular design logo. And so I found it on eBay and I was like, dude, I'm there. I'm sold. They're one of those bands that also they like to have a lot of patches, and so this band represents probably around the time that I started following them. So it's like it was perfect, absolutely perfect to get a patch that represents them. Now I'm going down to the end. We got this patch, right? Oh, goodness. Hard to see. On the very tail end of my gi. Alright, so this is square patch that comes from another band that is one of my favorites. I've been following them since 2002, and they're called Demon Hunter. Terrible name, always have been. Absolutely phenomenal music, and they actually have, I think, 2 albums coming out in March. So definitely look forward to that, because they're one of those bands that, like, I don't ever get tired of their music. I'll still be listening to their last album when these new albums come out. I mean, I love them. They are also new metal, but they're metalcore and have some kind of melodic edges to them. So they're really, just really good, really talented. Like I said, been following them since 2012, their first album, and not 12, 2. Getting my dates mixed up. Following them since 2002 because I'm old, right? Long time following these guys, and they too have a lot of albums, and they're very good and they're worth a listening to as well. They use the same symbol on the cover of every single album, and what this is kind of a goat's head that is supposed to be like a demon, and it's got a little hole in the middle, and that to represent them like spearing it and killing it. Like I said, demon hunter, that's what they do. This is supposed to be a dead demon, and they use some variation of this logo on the cover of every single album that they have, which is pretty cool. So like you can always look at an album and be like, oh, that's from that band, because that's all they ever do. So this, like, they came up with something and they stuck with it. That being said, on the other side, I got this guy. Now, this is also a Demon Hunter patch, and it says, since 2007, the BR, or TBR, essentially. And what that is the Blessed Resistance, and that is the fan club for this band, right? And I've been a part of them, 2007. Now, the fan club was a really good idea, and I got a lot of really good stuff from it, and I liked it, and I was a part of it. And then after a couple years, they kind of fizzled out, and they acknowledged that. Now they restarted the fan club. I have a whole new website, and they're doing this subscription base. I think, I don't know, $5-6 a month or something like that. I'm not really sure on that. I just know there's a lot of stuff now that they do. It's like, I think they have a couple of people who are just dedicated to always putting content on there for them to, or for you to get. So it's pretty cool. Also worth checking out. I don't know if I'll have the time to enjoy that content, but I want to. I'm just old school, blessed resistance. Now, one of the cool things is that in about 2004, the album they came out with featured a couple guitars that were so cool that I went and got those. I had the same matching guitar sound as they did, which was really cool. I was really hyped up, and that was kind of my thing. Even P.O.D. in 2003, they got a new guitarist who goes by the name of Jason Truby. Now, Jason Truby is the founding guitarist for a metal band, a death metal band called not Demon Hunter, Living Sacrifice. Getting my band names mixed up. It's bad day. Need to get my coffee. It's over there. Anyways, absolutely love Living Sacrifice. And when he joined the band, I found out through like pictures and stuff, seeing him in concert, that he used the same guitar setup as I had, that I already had. I was like, yes. And so that was kind of my thing. In those couple of years, I was like, I had the same guitar setups as my 2 favorite bands. I was like, yes, man. But I can talk music all day long. That's kind of really not what you're watching this for. You want me to talk about Yee? Well, we're here to talk about Yee, but I mean, really, I'm here to talk about me. Anyway, so those are those patches. What else I got here? Oh no, yeah, I got on the other side. I've got another Demon Hunter patch, and so they're all about their patches. Um, all right, what else I got? What else I got? Oh, let's go to this arm. UNC patch. So one of the things I really wanted to really highlight me was a patch for UNC, and I couldn't really make up my mind as far as what logo I wanted to have. Did I want to have the Ram or the UNC logo or the foot? Okay, there were so many to choose from. This one has them all. And so when I saw that, I was like, definitely, I'm sold. It was on eBay, and I got it. And what this actually is a replica of the national championship banner that hung in the rafters at the Dean Dome in 2009. Now, the reason why this is very special to me is that 2009 was the year that I was supposed to graduate. I didn't graduate because I got cancer. Graduated the next year. But still, this was a big thing. It was also the year where they had one of their best teams. Like I said, national championships in basketball. Okay, basketball. This is all talking basketball. So when I saw this patch, I was like, I definitely have to have this. Like one of my biggest patches on here. And you can tell light blue is my thing. Man, Chapel Hill all the way. So Tar Heels. But yeah, so that's my Tar Heel patch. Okay, the national championships. Now below that, got this patch. Cancer sucks. Now, if you go to one of my previous podcasts, I talk about the statistical likelihood of cancer and how it's really bad, and how my own personal cancer was brain cancer. But this is pink, is for breast cancer, which I didn't have, but that's way more likely to happen than brain cancer. The color for brain cancer is gray, so not really many people know that. But this color for pink ribbon, it'll definitely say, hey, that's cancer. So, by the way, get yourself checked out. 1 out of every 8 women get diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime. Big deal. All right, I got, like I said, last pie, or not the last, second to last. Do a whole bunch of cancer statistics out there. It's a big prevalent thing. Anyways, Cancer Sucks is a type of charity, and when I first went to Relay for Life years ago at UNC, I saw a t-shirt that said Cancer Sucks, and I was like, buying that, right? Love that shirt, and here's a patch that said Cancer Sucks. I was like, sold. You know, that's me in a nutshell, all right? You know, it's just cancer sucks, UNC, so very much that is why those are there. And that brings me, too much fabric, to my last patch, okay? My Leo patch, okay? Now, the thing about Leo is this patch specifically is the rarest patch that I have. In fact, there's probably only 2 in existence in the world, and that's because I have them made. It's also my most expensive patch because I had them made. But there's a reason, and put this to the side so I can talk about that and use my hands. I like to talk with my hands. Leo, the patch is designed specifically after the names on my leaderboard for my kids' classes, right? And so on that board is a list of names of all the kids who are currently in the school, and next to them are stars. And they get a red star for every 4 months that they've been here, and they get a gold star for every year that they've been here. And it started out as something really cool, and now it's become like my wall of shame because I haven't been able to update that in 2 years, right? I got kids coming to me saying, hey, I've been here more than a year. I'm like, I know. Everything on there is handmade, and I'm the one who hand makes it, and I've been too busy to actually do all this stuff. It's kind of a process. When I made it, I wasn't really that busy, and so I thought, hey, I can keep this up. This is cool, and did it for a while, and then then I ended up teaching like 35, 40 hours a week. And so, and I'm doing stuff like this instead of updating that. So it's even worse. I'm shaming myself because I'm making it my New Year's resolution to update that thing. That's why I'm putting this out there. Um, and so, and what's really bad is I had one that was misspelled. I didn't know I misspelled the kid's name until he got old enough to read, and then he was like, "That's one L in my name. There's one L in my name." That went on for like a year, still on there. This is, like I said, that's my whole shame. But anyways, that's where the design came from. I designed those. I designed this. Now the ones on the board are white. This is a black background, right? For two reasons. One, it shows up better, and two, to kind of separate it from the ones that are on the board. Now, the reason why it says Leo, Leo is or was a student in my class years ago. He was one of the first 6 kids that I promoted to their first rank. So I keep record of all of them, I remember all of them, and he was a very big influence on who I am as a teacher and what I teach and what I focused on as far as like self-defense goes, especially for the little kids. Now, Leo had this, like, he was amazingly athletic. He had probably one of the best roundhouse kicks I've ever seen from a 6-year-old. Okay, and so a lot of my adults, because I teach the kids and adults the exact same thing, I just teach the kids in a different manner, but the techniques for the most part are the same. Now, whenever I go to an adult and I'm like, hey, I got a 6-year-old who can do that better than you can, you need to step it up, absolutely nothing more satisfying in the world as far as like pinpricking and taking the air and the wind out of their ego. It's just be like, hey man, this 7-year-old's better than you. That's the bar. All right, you can get over it, and a lot of my adults know that, and so it's really cool, and it's very cool to kind of see what exactly a kid can do when you just throw it. I'm like, hey, can you do this jumping, spinning, double kick? And they do it, and you're like, that's better than what I can do. Okay, cool. All right, and so Leo is one of those kids. At 6 years old, phenomenal kid. Um, the reason why I have him on a patch of him is to honor him because in December 2013, Leo was on vacation in the mountains. He fell down and he passed away. And so he was 7 at the time, and I think, I mean, it's tragic. No 7-year-old, no kid, nobody should pass away because they fell down. It was just one of those freak accidents kind of thing, and they weren't close enough to a hospital to really help the kid out. So he fell down, he passed away, and unfortunately for me, I've had a lot of grief, a lot of loss, a lot of people who have passed away in the last decade. And one of the things that I've learned is that to really deal with that kind of stuff is not to bottle it up inside and let it fester. It's actually to get it out there and talk about it. And this patch was a way of forcing me to talk about Leo. Because people would see the gi and be like, oh, I didn't know your name was Leo. It's like, it's not. Let me tell you about Leo. So I get to tell them about this awesome kid. And then I get to tell them, hey, you need to learn how to fall correctly because you're more than likely going to be taken out by gravity and by an assailant. And then that's statistics right there. I mean, there's people who've gone their entire lives without ever being in a fight, but they can't count the number of times that they've fallen down in the last month, right? And so falling down is a big thing, and that's one of the things I started to really stress in my kids' classes, especially because more so than any of them, kids are clumsy, man. They're just figuring out their body. They fall down all the time, and so he really influenced that in a way that I was kind of like, well, it kind of opened my mind a little bit to the fact that they really need to learn this stuff. Um, but yeah, so that's why I have the patch. I wanted to honor him, and again, like I said, force myself to talk about them, because the more you talk about something, the easier it gets. Because some of those losses, they don't go away. You don't deal with them by getting rid of them. They become a part of you, and so you got to acknowledge that if you ever want to get past it, if you ever want to keep going. So I have that there to force me to keep going, right? Force me to talk about it, because Leo is freaking awesome, and I want to keep talking about it. The thing is, in my view, a person doesn't really die until they are completely forgotten. All right, and so never want to forget Leo. Never want to forget all these great people who are in my life. So I talk about them. All right, so the patch is a way to force me to talk about them to keep them going. All right, because for a 7-year-old, kill balls. Anyways, that was a dire note. I know, it sucks. Talking about kids passing away is never a cool thing. It's a true thing. But I'm not done. Okay, that's just my gi. All right, so now talking about my gi belt, and I'm a nerd who knows that stuff is more valuable in the box. And I have a tendency of taking stuff out of the box and then putting it back in the box to store it. So this is the bag this belt came in. Alright, this is my pink Jujitsu belt for breast cancer. Again, I'm all about breast cancer awareness. This is my patch that I bought, which was really hard to find a patch that matched the dimensions of this belt. Right, but it's say the boobies, so I call this my booby Jujitsu belt. On the other side, I've got a shamrock, right? Because and pink ribbon, same thing, breast cancer. I don't know if I mentioned, but kind of Irish, hence the Boondock Saints and the clover. All right, and so that was the reason for those patches there. So this is all breast cancer awareness. When I first made this thing, had to make this. That's because back when I wanted to purchase a pink belt, I couldn't find one. Right, looked all over, couldn't find one. Ended up getting a white belt and dyeing it pink. And what I did there, if ever you have something that has directions on it, follow the directions. Okay, don't go beyond them. There's a reason for those directions, right? I really didn't. So I got a bucket and I put water in it, and it called for, I think I had like a 2-ounce bottle of pink dye, and it called for a certain amount per certain amount of gallons, right? Well, I was like, well, I'm never going to use this again. So I was like, okay, I just dumped the whole thing in there and dyed my belt pink. It looks really good, but I had to wash this sucker like every day for over a week to get all the excess dye out. It was just, the pink was running out tremendous. I was like, I can't wear this. What if I start to sweat and then everything turns pink? Or if I get pink on somebody else's clothes? It's like, can't do that. So I ended up hanging it in the shower to dry, because I didn't have a dryer. I let it air dry. And whenever I took a shower, after I was done, I just took it, held it up there, let all the dye run out, hung it back up to dry, and did that for over a week until finally it stopped with the pink dye running out. So this is the typical belt that is worn for, like I said, this is Jiu-Jitsu, like really thick belt. They have thinner belts that they use for other martial arts, and a lot of times, like, the martial art is, or you can tell what kind of techniques they do based on the clothes that they wear, based on the gis or the belts, as far as what they particularly do. So the thicker belts are reserved for either judo or jiu-jitsu practitioners, or really high-ranking black belts. I got one black belt that's like, when I got it, it was so thick that I stood it upright on my desk and took a photo of it. I mean, it was just thick, it was stiff, and still that way. I mean, I take it and I beat a heaving bag with it to try to make it loose. This one's loose because I washed it so many freaking times. Can't really do that with the black belts. You're not supposed to. Not supposed to wash your belt. Wash your gi. By all means, wash your gi. Oh my God, it's gonna stink if you don't. So, yeah. I have a video on my channel that talks about how to tie the belt. Okay, so that's not what I'm going to do here. So you check out that video to learn how to tie a belt. There's also a video that shows you how to fold the gi for safekeeping. Now mine I have to hang up because I got so many patches on it. Anyways, so those are all my patches. Okay, belt and everything like that. And talking a little bit about the gi. And yeah, so I don't really have anything else for you. I wasn't interrupted. Cool, right? As soon as I say, I know, like the phone's gonna ring or somebody's gonna come in. Nope. All right, so that's all I got for you this week. The next one that we do, I don't know if I'll do another one before the end of the year or if we'll just start off the new year with another Dragon Yawn. We'll see. And I don't know what we're gonna talk about. Who knows? I actually asked Robert. I was like, "Hey, you come up with the next topic," and so he was like, oh. That's what he does. That's the face palm. So, anyways, I'm Sifu Mike. This has been Dragon Yawn. Hope you guys are entertained. Hope you guys learn some stuff about me. All right. Make sure to check out Tactical Kung Fu Mixed Martial Arts. Like I said, we're located in Durham, North Carolina. It's the only place that features a whole lot of awesome people. The community here is a great place, right? And it's the only place that features me. Okay, go to our website, tkfmma.com, and on there you can find direct links to our Facebook page. We got a Twitter account. I got a Instagram. That's what I got. I got so many social media accounts. Twitter, Instagram, and I got a YouTube channel, which is what this is on. So you should subscribe. All right, subscribe. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for my subscribers. All right. Check us out. Next time, I'm always posting stuff, either Dragon Yawns or Kung Facts or stuff like that, or just really cool videos of people doing cool stuff. Because like I said, our people here are awesome. Alright? You should join too, so you too can join the awesomeness. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys. Hope you're doing good. And I will catch you on the flip side. If you know your Moonlock Saints, that's a reference.